Hello there. I hope you're having a good first week to this brand new year. I've been meaning to produce more videos for this channel. And coincidentally, something came up a few hours ago in the Philippine cosplay space, which um, is worth talking about. So let's get right down to it for this topic. Now, Cosplay.PH is an event organizer. I've talked about them in a previous video. Uh, so they're one of the major organizers of cosplay events in the Philippines, and today they have announced their rents, their booth rentals for 2024. Right. I've seen the booth rentals for their All Star Avenue. All Star Avenue is the part of their events where you know cosplayers have big booths and a lot of space in front of the booth so people can queue up for a meet and greet with them. Uh, and if you're coming in from, if you're entering the event, you probably see them right away. Right, they're in a very visible part of the show. Very visible, very easy to access area. Anyhow, so they've raised prices. Cosplay.PH have introduced the rates. No one's happy because they've raised prices. Uh, Last year, a booth at All Star Avenue, the lowest price would be 11,000 pesos. This year, the most affordable price is 12,800 pesos. That's an over 10% increase. And the rentals for All Star Avenue are tied to specific events in the Cosplay.PH calendar. So their rental of 12,800, it's limited to certain events, specific events. For their flagship event, Cosplay Mania, uh, the rent for 2024 is over 23,000 pesos, up from 15,000 pesos in 2023. The price hike is 8,600, over 8,600 pesos. That's at current exchange rates, that is over 150 US dollars. That's a lot of money in the Philippines. That is a lot of money. And no one's happy. No one's happy with the rates, right? The cosplayers who have rented booths at um, Cosplay.PH events in 2023, they want to rent them again for this year, but now they see the price listing, the prices, and it's like, whoa, whoa. I don't, and to my understanding, the rates for the artists' booths, that is just the, you know, artists, creative selling fan art, their original illustrations, their original prints. It's also similar price hikes, right? 2024 rates rentals for an artist table were going for over 9,000 pesos, um, which to my understanding is much higher than last year. Uh, and Cosplay.PH, is the first organizer for this year to announce the change in their pricing. This is going. This leads to a few questions. One, will they also raise ticket prices? Because it's quite possible that raising booth rents will not be enough to cover their, will not be enough, right? I'm not happy with it, but I understand why they raise booth prices. I understand why. The Philippine economy, it's a very challenging environment right now. Prices have steadily gone up since at least, you know, 2022. Um, and it affects every level of the supply chain. Transport of raw materials, the processing of raw materials to something, you know, usable, and then you put together these semi-finished products for a finished piece. Then you sell it to somebody, right? I would not be surprised if an organization like Cosplay.PH basically subcontracts a lot of their operations, a lot of their stuff. So, you know, like the moving vans, uh, that transport the equipment to and from the show. The there might be a company which provides the booth furniture if Cosplay.PH don't already have it in stock, sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Printing companies, you know, the ones which print the banners and other paraphernalia which are then displayed at at their events. It's probably a subcontractor, probably a vendor. So I wouldn't be surprised. You know, these companies are also under the same, you know, economic pressures in this environment. So I understand why Cosplay.PH would raise prices. Um, and the raising of rents won't necessarily affect the average con goer. You know, a lot of people go to a cosplay convention, but they don't necessarily buy anything. They're just gonna go there, look at cosplay, take pictures of the cosplayers, watch the performances on stage, and go home. A lot of them do that. Now, so you know, raising the rent of a booth won't affect them directly, if at all. Now, if the Cosplay.PH raised their ticket prices because they could not, uh, because the higher booth rents can't cover their additional expenses, then yeah, it's a different story. Next question is, Cosplay.PH is one of the major organizers in the country. They're the first ones to announce the higher prices. Would other organizers follow their lead? I mean, you know, the information about the higher rents is out there. It's going to be shared. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if other organizers look at these rents and go like, oh, okay, we could afford to raise our own rents and still, you know, but at a rate, but at a level which probably won't scare off people because, you know, it's not going to be as expensive as as what Cosplay.PH are charging for. Right. So there's going to be that bit of a consideration. Uh, and again, another thing is that Cosplay.PH, as big a company, not big, as much as their cachet goes being a major event organizer in the Philippines, right? They've already they've already acknowledged, you know, by releasing these prices, they've already acknowledged that, you know, yeah, shit's expensive. Our expenses are gone up, and they're passing the cost on the customer to their customers. Would this lead to an effect where other organizers likewise do the same? And then would this affect the current boom period in cosplay events in the Philippines? Because we are currently in the boom period. This coming weekend, December 6th and 7th, is the first weekend in a long time where there are, as far as I know, there are no cosplay events scheduled. On almost any given weekend, you would have two, maybe three cosplay friendly events running in Metro Manila at in different parts of the metropolis. It's very rare for an organizer to have event dates all to themselves nowadays. Like the last one is, the last one are basically, yeah, these last two events, Retro Ozine and Cosplay Matsuri. But that's because they've usually run these events at the end of the year, and uh, they make bank. But even in the lead up to the last five cosplay dates of the year, I was half expecting somebody to announce, "Oh, we're going to have an event on December 27th or December 28th, running head to head with Cosplay Matsuri or Retro Scene." Anyway, it's a boom period. We have a boom period, multiple events in any given weekend. Uh, but a lot of that also hinges on keeping things reasonably priced, right? A lot of these events are mall events, free admission, and the organizers they cut deals with the malls. The shopping malls want people to go to their store, to their mall, right? So they organize a free cosplay event, improve the foot traffic, and hopefully this improves sales. Uh, but depending on the arrangement, maybe the organizer who signed on, maybe the organizer still has to pay rent, maybe a discounted rate, but they still have to pay rent. And then they lease out the assigned activity area to exhibitors, little artist booths, cosplayers, whatever, whoever wants to rent a booth there. They're gonna do that. And so, would they raise prices too? Would the mall raise prices on them? That sort of thing. Would would this lead to higher prices overall, even as we're having a boom period? And would the price hike be enough to alter the momentum of this cosplay event boom we're having? Right? I mean, it's possible that an organizer or two might start cutting back on events because they realize that, oh, we have higher expenses, but we're not able to really attract more exhibitors to cover the costs. Or we've raised prices, rentals, but we're still not able to cover costs, right? Sorry, I have a bit of a cold here. As for the cosplayers who might be looking to rent at All Star Avenue, you know, minimum price hike of 1,800 pesos for certain events, and then for the big one, uh, and a price hike of over 8,600. For that case, what are they going to do? Are they going to? I mean, they might be able to do a group buy, like several cosplayers, pool their resources, sorry, and rent a booth, and this way you know, they all they each pay less for the rent, but they have to hope to sell more to cover that, right? Others might have to just fucking raise their prices altogether, or they might have to put out new product, something interesting which will get people to buy. But again, it will also cost money to produce, and there's really no guarantee that new product they put out will sell quickly at an event. There's a lot of variables come into play. So this price hike may have opened a can of worms, which may, spread out and affect the direction of cosplay eventing in the Philippines, or at least in Metro Manila, for this year. It's going to be a very interesting thing to see how it plays out, really. And that being said, thank you so much for taking the time to follow this video to the end. You have a good day.